Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Um, my name is Paula Collins, and I am the founder of Serene Wellness with Paula. And I just want to welcome you for tuning in with me today. So if you are here, please say hello in the comment section. If you did not give StreamYard permission to connect with you through Facebook, then I may only see your name as Facebook user. So I'll let you know if I can see you in the comments or not, but please say hello because I love to talk to whoever is here with me. And definitely love when people comment about what I'm saying. I like to know if what I'm sharing with everybody is relevant, if it resonates, if it's helping, if it's making you think. So today we are talking about allowing our inner child to awaken. Hey, Jackie, so glad to see you here. Oh, one more thing before I get started. If you are watching this and catching the replay, please put hashtag replay so that I know that you saw it. So anyways, we're allowing our inner child to awaken. Another Facebook user said, hi, Paula, but I'm not sure who it is. But hello. So, why am I talking about being childlike this week, allowing our inner child to come out? And it's because it's important. So much of society tells us how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to react. When children are growing up, everybody expects them to think and act like an adult. And when they don't, people get upset. Hi, Anne. Hi, Nellie. People get upset. Oh, you need to grow up. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to do that. And so what happens is kids forget, sometimes kids forget how to be kids. And when it's been squelched so much, then we forget how to be there. And there's nothing wrong with growing up. There is nothing wrong with becoming an adult. There is nothing wrong with the whole process, right? It's all good. There's a time and a place for everything, just like the song says, right? But when we tell our inner child to take a step back, to move out of the way, to come back some other time, what happens to us is we lose some of what we had when we were children. We lose the awe. We lose the wonder. We lose the magic of childhood, right? I mean, take a minute right now in this moment and think back to when you were a kid and you were playing, whether you were a little girl or a little boy, whether you were playing inside with Barbies or Lincoln Logs, Legos, or playing outside in the mud, playing sports, playing in the rain. Think about that for a moment and think about how exciting it was to be creative, to be imaginative, to just be in the moment full of joy and experience it. It's a pretty wonderful time in our life, I think. But then people tell us, sit there and don't move. Sit there and don't talk. Don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 right? And we do that. As soon as kids go to school, we expect them to sit for long periods of time. And it's okay, right? They need to learn to sit. They need to learn to listen to instruction. But I think sometimes so much focus is putting on the sitting and the listening and not enough time is allowed for the playing and the creativity and the imagination. And so the older we get, the more imagination we lose. And think about it. At a certain point, like around middle school, recess is taken away, right? Um, and so kids don't get that downtime to just kind of let it all out. And we think that gym class is enough, but it's not, because there's structure in gym class too, right? And the phys ed teachers expect the kids to listen, pay attention, and learn. And at recess, they don't have that. So it's taken away from middle schoolers. It's taken away from high schoolers, definitely taken away, at college, yeah, they have time in between there, but so much of their time is spent. I remember when I took my son, I think it was my son, for orientation. And they said that, 20% of your time is spent in the classroom with the prof, and 80% of your time and your learning is spent outside of the class. That's a lot of time. And when you put in with that kids having jobs while they're in college, there's not a lot of other time left. Yes, Nellie, we need to allow ourselves to be kids again. And so, things I like about kids. And I wrote these things down. I wrote down a lot of notes because I didn't want to forget anything. One of the things I like about kids are children have not yet learned to be obsessed with others, with what others think of them, right? Children just don't. I have a beautiful 8-year-old granddaughter who I love with all of my heart. And she really doesn't care. You can always tell the kids who are allowed to dress themselves when they're young and the ones whose parents are still doing it. And my granddaughter has a very interesting sense of style, but I love that about her. She also thinks that wearing pajamas all day should be a thing. And I can't say that I disagree with that either. But she doesn't spend time when she's dancing around and, turning somersaults or showing off what she learned in gymnastics or ballet, right? Or running around outside. She doesn't worry, what is everybody around me thinking? She's just in the moment, right? She is so present in that moment. And she doesn't think about the fact that maybe she has to go somewhere new in that moment. She is just there. She is present in that moment. Another thing about kids is they haven't become cynical to the point of retreating into the lies and the posturing to navigate the convenient deceptions of other people, right? That's a lot, right? But kids aren't cynical. Adults are cynical. The older we get, sometimes the more cynical we become. We look at things and we say, oh, kids these days are da, 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 da. And we generalize. Or we say all of this is bad, because a lot of times people speak in absolutes. They'll say all, they'll say everybody, they'll say nobody, right? It's always absolutes. And we become cynical because we see one kid doing something or one child or a person acting a certain way. Then we make this blanket assessment and we become cynical. And we think about, well, how would other people react in this situation? Well, I should probably react that way too. And how would somebody act in this situation? Well, I should probably do that too, because that's what's appropriate. And that's useful in some areas, but it's not useful 24/7. Let's be honest. It's not. And so we become deceived that we have to act a certain way because we are now adults. I always joke with my husband, asking him when he's going to grow up, because he can be very childlike a lot of times. But at least he's willing to try to do that, right? And then another thing about being childlike that I wrote down is society has certain institutions and systems that beat our childlike nature out of us so we can become more productive, right? I'm sure that there are several people who may be watching right now or will watch the replay, or that you know, who go to work and they work their butts off all day for either their own company or for somebody else, right? Because it's important to be productive, and it's important to get to work early and to leave late and to be concentrating and to be focused. But you know what that causes? Burnout, undue stress, undue anxiety. It causes resentment. It causes all of those things, and that builds up inside of us. And a job that we may have loved when we started becomes a job that we hate. Okay, a job that we hate. And so it becomes a drudgery to go to work because we are expected to act a certain way from the time we enter until the time we leave. And so those are the things that kind of beat that out of us, right? And because we lose this idea of imagination and creativity and play, we lose parts of our brain that's a part of, right? And so we're always looking outside of us for answers, for creativity, instead of being able to find it within ourselves, because it's there. It's just gone dormant. It's taken a nap. And we need to find ways to reignite that within us, that childlikeness. So some ideas of how can we be more childlike, right? What can we do to become more childlike? One of them is to live in the present moment, right? Start living in the present moment, because that's what we have, right? Yesterday's gone. All of those moments are behind us. We can't live there anymore. When we do, we live in the regret of what we could have, should have, might have done, right? So we can't live there anymore. We can't live in the present in the future, because it hasn't happened yet. We can plan for it. We can have a vision for it, but we can't live there. So living in this present moment is so important, because it's what we have right now. Another way to be childlike is to stop having so much concern about our money, our productivity, or being accepted and cool, right? Now, I probably ruffled some feathers when I said that, because I said, and not having concerns about money, right? We worry about it. Think about it. We do. It is first and foremost in our minds. It's why we get jobs. It's why we have savings account. It's why people invest and have 401ks and all of that, right? It's important. Yes, we need money to live. We need to pay our bills, our mortgages, our car payments. We need to save for the future. Yes. But when we are constantly in worry mode, we are now overly concerned, and we're not being present. Also, concerns about our productivity. How can I be more productive? Okay, that's a valid question, right? You could be a couch potato and do nothing, or you could be productive, right? But productive doesn't always mean that you are doing something. Productive can be sitting and thinking and noodling over something. Productive can be taking time for yourself to renew yourself, to rejuvenate, to relax. And there are all sorts of ways to do that. So just thinking about the old saying, idle hands are the devil's workshop, I think is how it went. That's not true. Because sometimes in our idleness, when we're resting and we turn inward and we look into our heart and our soul about what we really want and what excites us, and what drives us, that's productive too. And then this whole idea of everybody accepting us or looking cool or whatever it is, right? Yes, it's nice to be included. Yes, it's nice to be accepted. But it shouldn't be what drives us. People are either going to like us or not like us. And that's because of how they look at life and how they see where they are in life and everything that they bring to it, right? And so when people are hurt or hurting and they look and they see that we've changed in some way, there could be a twinge of jealousy. There could be a twinge of anger at themselves for not being able to accomplish that, right? And so we lose people in our lives, and that's okay. Or we might like something that our friends don't, right? And so we might lose the cool factor, and that doesn't matter, okay? Because we're allowed to like things that nobody else likes. It's fine. So there's that. Another way is to stop limiting our imagination, right? Kids don't have a limit to their imagination, except for maybe what they've learned in life, what they've been taught, what they've been shown, right? But kids have no limit. They can take some inanimate object and pretend that it is a doll or an army figure, right? Little boys can take anything and it becomes a gun, right? I've watched it. Right? Kids have great imagination until they're told not to. And when they play, they lose themselves in their play. If they're having a good time, they have no idea what's going on the outside world. They don't care, right? They lose themselves in that moment and what they're doing. And they create with abandon, right? We might be standing there saying, oh my gosh, what is it that child is making? They know what it is, and that's all that matters. And they just create and they paint and they color and they do things, and it makes them happy, right? And we, as we get older, we color inside the lines and we plan out what we want to create. We just don't start. We have to plan it out. We have to have the instructions. We have to have something to look at. Kids don't do that. They just do it. And they have fun when they do it, right? Kids are endlessly curious and they ask questions, right? A lot of you who have been around little kids know why, right? They ask the questions all the time because their little minds are like sponges. Yes, Nellie, as Brene says, in curiosity, we get innovation, right? And we find things that we might like that we didn't realize we liked. Okay. And then kids also love to show off for whoever's going to watch. It's usually mom and dad or their grandparents, but they love to show off what they learned that's new. They love to share it, and they don't care if you're interested or not. They can't wait. My granddaughter will be, Gaga, watch this. Gaga, watch that, right? She doesn't care if I am in the middle of cooking. She doesn't care if I'm in the bathroom. She will bang on the door or just let herself in because there's no privacy with an 8-year-old. And so she doesn't care what I'm in the middle of. I could be in the middle of an important conversation, and if it's important to her, she wants the whole world to know. We don't do that as adults. We don't show off what we love. We worry. Will the people on the other side receive it well, or won't they? Will they judge me? Will they think differently about me? Right? So we don't do it, and it stifles us. So how do we get started getting back into our childlike nature? What do we do? As with anything, we start small. We pick one thing that we want to concentrate on, and we start incorporating that into our life. You always start small when you're making a change. If you start too big, you'll get overwhelmed and you'll quit. It'll happen. So we start small. So, we think about this for a minute. What childlike qualities would you like to adopt? And I have a few listed. Curiosity, living in the moment, abandoning worry, imagination, creativity, or here's a big one, pure joy, right? Watch little kids run and play. Pure joy. They're laughing. Their smiles are huge. They're squealing with delight, right? Pure joy. Pick a childlike quality you want to adopt. Just one. Start with one. And then we need to observe children, right? Watch the kiddos. Watch and learn. Sit and watch them in their curiosity, or how they live in the moment, or how they're imaginative or creative, right? Watch them and learn. We can learn so much from little kiddos. We can. Mr. Rogers, some of you that are my age will remember him. He was all about play. He said, play is a child's work, right? Play is a child's work. It's how they learn. It's how they learn about their surroundings and the people with them. They learn through play, right? So observe and watch kids. Play with them. Play with the kiddos. Play the games. Lose yourself in playing with them, right? If they're squealing in delight, get excited and be there with them. Oh, but I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Barbie said everything she could possibly say. Believe me, it's a thought that goes through my mind too. But believe it or not, my granddaughter will give me a script on what Barbie is supposed to be saying. Or the Hatchimals, right? Or the American Girl dolls, right? But play with them, be in the moment. Don't worry about everything else. Put your phone away. You don't need to record it. You don't need to take pictures of everything. Put the phone away. Turn off your adult brain and get in there. Get out Play-Doh. Get out crayons and color. Get out paints, right? Get out the Legos. Watch them build. One of the things that my granddaughter loves to do with Jenga blocks and Legos, and she does this with my husband, her papa. They like to hide marbles and Hatchimals, and so they build fortresses around it, and then the one person's not watching while the other person's building this, right? And they have to look, and she loves it, and they think it's great, right? And they have fun with it. Talk to kids. Ask them questions, and then really listen. And when they ask you questions, answer them. But remember, That if you're talking to an 8-year-old, it's not like you're talking to a 40-year-old. You're talking to an 8-year-old. So you're going to have to change the way you communicate on some level. You're going to have to think like a kid and try to explain it in a way that a kiddo would understand, not the way your wife, your brother, your coworker, your best buddy does. Kids aren't going to get that. Not at 8. So, but talk to them. Another thing you can do is make a date to play by yourself and forget who might be watching. Plan a play date for yourself, whatever that might be. It could be you getting out Play-Doh and sitting and playing with it. It could be you playing outside, doing something that's fun. Plan a play date for yourself and get out and do it. And don't worry about who's watching you. You go out and you do this for you. Put the world away. Leave your phone somewhere else. Schedule it, right? At least once a week. Schedule yourself a play date to play. Create something like a child would with reckless abandon, right? If you have things in your house because you have kids or grandchildren that you can build with, or Play-Doh or whatever it is, paper, crayons, paint, colored pencils, just sit and start doing it. Don't sit there and go, I wonder what this is going to look like. I wonder what I should make. No, just start. Just get your hands in there and do it. Is it going to be awkward at first? Sure. As adults, we're used to planning things. But you just go in and you just do it. Don't think, just do it. Be reckless. It's okay. Be curious like a child. Try to see the world the way they do, right? Go outside and look at the flowers. Listen to the birds. Watch the squirrels playing and chasing each other, right? Go outside and pick up a fuzzy dandelion and blow it and watch the seeds disperse. And do it in awe and wonder, as if you're seeing it for the first time. Or take your little one with you and watch how they explore the world and then mimic it. Right? Feel the wind. Lay down in the grass and look up at the clouds and what do they look like? Right? See the world as if you were looking at it through a kiddo's eyes. And then just live in the moment. Just be in that moment. Whatever you choose to do, just be in that moment. And if you have a friend that you want to do this with, great. And if nobody wants to, do it yourself. It doesn't matter. But bring that back into your life and know that it's okay to be childlike. Not childish, childlike. There's a difference. And after we practice doing this, after we practice and we really let ourselves go and we really get into it, watch your creativity change. Watch your imagination change. Watch the way you approach life and situations change. Watch how your stress level goes down. Maybe your anxiety is going to go down too. Give yourself permission to do it. That's all I have, guys. I didn't think it was going to go this long. Thank you for those of you who stuck it out and stayed here with me. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this resonated, that it was useful. I hope it's something that you'll try to do. Remember, start small. I hope that all of you have like a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.